Hello, everyone. This is Waldorf here, and I'm here with my partner,
Statler.
and we've got a guest tonight, which is I don't know how you pronounce it, Skip Schnitt from the forums.
Come on. Always laugh. I swear.
What's wrong?
So you're always laughing about me.
I know. I didn't use your name this time, though, so.
That's true.
So, we're just getting together to do a quick review on, I don't know how quick it'll be, doing a review on the, I guess the Alpha 3 release of the Vermin Swarm book.
It just came out yesterday when we're taping this.
Yep.
Yep. So, all right. Well, I guess let's dig into it.
All right.
Because here we are. By the way, Skip Schnitt is, if you don't know, is on the design team for this book. So he unwisely enough decided to come join us for this.
But not in person because he didn't want us hurting him.
Exactly. So he's at least giving us a verbal target.
Yeah.
And I will see him next weekend, so get to view him in person.
I have some packages for you to give to him.
Okay.
Ignore the ticking sound. So.
All right, so let's roll down through this. As you can see, not much has changed nothing's changed in the Army-specific rules, the model rules. First thing we get is more of a clarification, a rewriting of the Eagle standard. Correct? It doesn't really do it. It hasn't really changed anything. Is that correct, Ben?
Was the BSB the fallback on before?
Let me find out. Since Ben seems to have disappeared.
Oh, did
no, the BSB was not a fallback for it, so it has gotten better.
That's what I thought was added. I thought they added the.
Yeah, the first part is basically a rewrite, and then the last sentence, of course, is brand new.
Yeah.
There he is. Is he back?
Yeah, I think I'm back. Somehow I got put on backstage.
That's good. This way you can't refute anything we say.
Look out for vermin in your house.
Exactly. We were just saying Jörg was pointing out that the Eagle standard did improve with your BSB now being a backup to the general in case your general dies.
Right, and as long as people don't realize, the BSB does not become a general. He just acts as a general for activating the Eagle standard. Yeah,
right.
He's just making a bit more distinct role for the BSB model.
Well, it's the Vermin players whining that their general died, and now they no longer all their Eagle standards don't work.
Right. Yeah. That could be a little bit, because we do want the Army to play a little bit wider, but we don't want it to be free for all like Warriors. So,
well, with an 18-inch command span, you can get a pretty wide 18 on each side and another 6, so I guess 24 on each side. That's a big chunk of territory. Yep.
It is a big chunk. Yep.
All right. So that was the Eagle standard. Okay. Scrolling on down, you can see, oh, well, what's this? Mishap. Oh. The mishap now is Strength 3 AP 0. And Strength 6 AP 3 for the Trial and Terror version.
Right.
For the team. Yep.
So they both went up. Well, the low one went up by 1. And the big one went down by 1 AP. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a huge deal. It does make it a little rougher on the small stuff.
Right.
But, just don't roll any ones.
What's that?
Just don't roll any ones.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't
roll ones, you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
And let's scroll on down. What do we keep?
Most of those things have multi-wounds, so it's not awful.
Correct. Even the little weapon teams, I think, have 3 wounds each, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, they went up to 3 wounds each.
So yeah, I mean,
and it's to put bigger blocks of those things in. It's kind of a balance that.
Right.
If you have a full unit of 6 or so, and you got 3 of those units where you're maxing out your models, now you've got a little issue with it being kind of strong. So this kind of helps even it out a little bit. And this is still alpha, so we're still kicking the tires on it.
Okay. Sounds good. Colts haven't changed. All your weapons haven't. Your armory has not changed. These are really good, by the way. The canister launchers. I'm a big fan of those.
Those are my favorites.
And here we come to a major change. As they pull out everything they can and still try to polish this turd. All right. Sorry, Ben. The Awakened Swarm got basically almost a complete rewrite as far as the rat swarms that it summons, because now they no longer act like these weird semi-fanatic things. Now they actually become they're a unit on the board, and they flee, they can rally. They always flee if they're charged.
Right.
That's kind of...
That's as close to a summer chaff as we can get it.
Well, if you can get 2 of these, that's a double flee, and it works as a chaff. And of course, you force the guy to have to make his redirect roll.
Right. Exactly.
So it is somewhat as a chaff, even for a single piece.
So is the intention here to come up with an excuse so people can keep using their rat swarm models?
That's what it appears to be.
No, I don't mean it's a joke. I mean, because I know the intent of the game is to make sure that no models are obsolete, and they no longer exist in the army. So it just seems to be a way to allow you to use those models without having a unit that maybe conflicts with other units that already exist in the army. I'm just guessing. I'm just asking.
No, we want them in the army,
and
right now they function as a connection to a certain background piece in the army. And because of the complexity, we don't have room to put these in as an actual unit. The way that things work out, write these books. And so this is a unique way of putting it in as a spell, because with the background piece, they're not always there. So if you want to take them, you use them as a hereditary, you take it with your wizards or whatever, summon them, and then they can play a good part in the army, or it's totally up to the player. So there's more of that than just having, here's a way to get into rat swarm models, so people don't fuss about that.
Okay.
And then I guess you're concerned about being able, the reason that they have to flee is you're trying to minimize raising chaff in the middle of the table.
Exactly, because that's an undead trait that we can't really cross the line on. But then again, with things like totemic beasts that are out there, which is about the same thing, except for they're a whole lot stronger, got more uses. So instead of us using a breath weapon, then we'll go with the sweeping attacks part of it. But it kind of ties in also with the witchcraft, with Raven's Wing.
Yeah, I've always felt that, I personally think the totemic beast is too powerful, but they are still restricted to the board edges. At least they're not going to be in the middle of the battle line.
Board edge.
Right. So you can't they don't just show up in the center of the board like these or the skeleton units.
Yeah.
Right. These little range or two. Plus, it helps that with the making more use of the tunnel markers. Because once your guys have kind of deployed out of them, then they're just sitting there.
Right.
And now you have a use for them, just like you would with druidism spells.
Correct. Now, because now they can be the new version can be summoned based on the location of a tunnel marker.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
So, it's a different change. It definitely does make them a little bit better than what they were, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean,
the concept on them, the concept is simple, but because of all the gray areas, the wording ends up being rather long because of all the different steps.
right.
But it's basically you summon up a unit of rat swarms. They can move and do basically skinning lash against
Correct.
somebody, and if you want to charge them, they have to run away, and then you can force them right back through your own guys.
In which
And
case they die.
they'll do damage to your own guys, and then the rat swarms are removed.
Right. Or even worse for the rats. I mean, they end up chaffing your own guys if they don't get through you.
Yep.
So it's definitely a completely different style for what they were in the last edition.
Yes,
right.
Definitely different. I personally, I don't see why I would take this over any of the in place of base spells. But
That was the because some of the feedback we were getting at the very beginning was the hereditary was awful. It was too complicated and such. Then when we started working on the revision for this, we started getting feedback saying, "Oh, the hereditary is broken."
Yeah,
it's so good. It's like,
what?
No, wait a minute, where did this come from?
I don't know who they. I don't know. I don't know what person called you for that one.
I'll show you. It's on the forum. I don't know, but it's on the forum.
I think sometimes people don't read. A problem on the forum sometimes is people don't actually read the rules. They read somebody else's comments, and it starts a whole
Yes.
storm.
I'm not confirming nor denying.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. I mean, it is tough for any of the design people because you just have to accept you have to have a little bit of leather skin because some people are just not rational.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, somebody just posted in the messages that with the 18-inch range, you've got a chance to drop it behind somebody into their rear area and just let it walk around, doing its sweeping attack every turn.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would have liked.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's just I think it's much more useful than what it was.
It's definitely more useful for what it was, and I think you have to push it far away because you don't want them screwing up your own abilities and hitting your weapon teams or whatever.
Correct.
So
yeah.
Yeah, because I think people are going to be really looking for ways to push them at certain units.
Yeah. So I mean,
sure.
The way. I think the downside is there's a lot of downside here to me. I'd actually kind of wish they would just make them like a unit upgrade, kind of like goblins have. You can add them to your units.
The rat swarms.
Yeah, just adds to your rank bonus, and heck, maybe you can even shoot them out like a shooting attack, and then you pick them up. So.
Right. But
you attract all the rats to your unit.
Yeah. If all they're trying to do is get the unit in, correct.
Yeah, well, a couple things. It gives you the rats collect rats, and it can bolster your units, and then it gives you another shooting attack, and then you still have your guy. Having it the unit gives you a reason to have them on the table. But in case, yeah.
All right. Well, that's the hereditary. This is the biggest changes in the book. This is the biggest change in the book. This is the biggest
change, and I suspect it'll keep getting worked on.
Right, and it is. We put it out there and see how it
see
goes.
what the feedback is, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, that's going to bring us to the secrets of the Doomblade. So this now, if you're not in combat, it's back to you take a lightning hit every round you're not in combat.
Yeah, because we got the comment from up above that it's too much of a zoning tool, and it can't be quite a zoning tool. That's not the intent of it. Now it's supposed to be, because it is. I know there's some backlash because it's quote unquote legacy carryover.
Right.
But it's maybe true, but it's ingrained in the background of his powerful weapon. And whether I can confirm nor deny, maybe there's something in that weapon that needs something. That they don't want us discussing background stuff.
No,
so
okay.
No problem.
That's why evasive.
Okay.
But
So,
there is a
but you
background
do,
music to the weapon.
right. There is a thing you can do with this though, if you want to be a little tricky, is you can hide it in the into a tunnel for a while and not take a chet test.
Correct.
From the way I read it.
That is correct. If you get it now, you can't put him. By it basically has to be in a unit with a drill team, and then you put him in a tunnel.
Right.
Same
Or
with the,
isn't
the
there?
same,
There's
same with
another.
the task.
Yeah. There's also something else now that lets you go into a that start in reserve, right?
Yeah, the banner.
Yeah, we'll see that. Oh, it's over there, right there. Bell of the Deep Roads. All right, we'll get to that one. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think there's a platform now. I think they brought back an infantry height, a standard size platform. So I think it helps you. I can't remember if the resilience went up on it though, which would matter for this thing.
All right. So,
We'll get to it.
but anyway, so like I said, so now it hurts itself when he's not in combat instead of when he's in combat. So it's just a little bit different. Next thing we got is the Swarm Master. Go ahead.
I would say
Ben.
Doomblade. Possibility that the Doomblade could change as well as we fine tune this thing. Because for me, I'm not a fan of it right on the turn one. I mean, there's no way I can get in combat.
It's okay. It's only it's at best going to do a wound to you.
That's true.
And you're probably going to, with the other 20 points, this thing needs to cost 181 points. So you cannot fit the potion of speed with that guy.
Well, there's would say this sucker would be 200 points. So
I don't care. It just needs to be 1 point higher.
1 point higher. All right.
Yep. Anyway. All right. So that brings us to the Swarm Master, who used to only be 25 points, which was the most ridiculously priced item in the game.
Are you happy about this? Are you happy?
No, I'm not.
You led the band. You beat the drum on this thing. If it needs to be a cap, it's way too good.
Okay. Well, let's look at it right now. Okay. For 40 points, every round you get 10 Strength 3 AP 1 attacks.
That's if
for
you
40
have that
points.
many ranks.
Okay. You're playing Vermin. Okay.
You need to have 50 models.
I have not seen a Vermin Swarm unit that's less than 50.
Eventually they'll get knocked down to like 6 attacks.
Yeah, I think it'll go. It needs to go down a bit more. But anyway, I mean, compare it for 40 points. Compare it to the. Let's go with the Dragon Staff. One time you get 2d6 Strength 3 AP 0. This one, every round for 40, you're getting this.
Yeah. Well, the old way was 3d6 attacks.
No, let's not talk about old way.
3d6 strength 3 attacks.
We're talking about current way, not old way. Anyway, it's still to me it's still very underpriced for what it does. At least it did get somewhat of a thing, but not that many people go with units of more than 50. so it's really not that big of a nerf. So moving on, it did go up by 15 points.
The challenge is that they're ground attacks, so they're hits. They're not attacks.
And they're hits.
So it's 10
correct.
hits.
Correct.
Right. If it was an extra attack per rank, that wouldn't be such a big deal. But being hits and you're going straight to wound, that makes it pretty tough against
Correct.
any type of elf that I can think of. Like, oh, you just wiped out my unit, and
yeah, it's
and
tough.
you haven't even used your spears yet. So
Right. All right. The next one, the rodentium bullets.
Yeah, Rodentium.
Okay. It's you know what? We should invite you along every time just for a pronunciation guide.
What was that? The spaceship from The Expanse?
So what do we got? We've got this used to be 20 points for all it gave you was +2 shots in Divine. So now for an extra
Right.
5 points, you get your pistol's range increased to 18. You get accurate and +1 AP. Anyway,
Right.
it probably will be taken now. I didn't think it was going to be taken much before.
Yeah, it's a 3-shot pistol.
Correct.
Yeah, I think
Now-
It kind of goes back. I hate to say it, but it goes back to the old pistol,
I don't want to hear about old
the
stuff.
old warp pistol that we used to have. Don't want to hear about the old
Well, the
stuff.
difference is you can only take one of these instead of one on every guy. So
That's true.
Correct.
Exactly.
All right.
yeah, I think that's I
Okay,
like
so
that change
volunteer.
personally. Say that again.
I said I'm gonna definitely volunteer for the Orcs and Goblins book.
Oh
It's the
boy.
best- it's the best one.
Yeah.
Then you're
If
gonna
you
get-
do,
you're
if
gonna
you
get the
do,
angry Waldorf.
the first thing. No. The first thing you just do is remove fanatics.
Ricochet.
Remove fanatics. Make me happy. Anyway. What do we got? We've got the Plague Hermit's Blessing, which is an armor benefit.
Yeah.
This one was 50 points, and all it gave you a 5-up fortitude save, and you had to be re-rolled. They had to re-roll to hits against you, which was very good. Now for 65 points, it gets even better because it gives you an extra health point, a 5-up fortitude, and they still have to re-roll their hits against you.
Right.
Excellent item
kinda-
for 65 points. Come on. Right?
Well, because dude's only 2 hit points, and he has to be in that unit to give him fearless. You know, it's not like the old Plague Brotherhood guy, the Plague Priest, who was toughness 5
Right.
and basically a fighty guy. So this kind of gets it back up to a little bit. He's still not a fighty guy, but at least he can hold his own a little bit more, being an integral part of that unit to get it fearless. You know, somebody just come in there and just take him out. Unit's not fearless anymore, and that's not a 5.
Right. No, I understand. And the 65 points probably is appropriate for this because the 5-up ward save alone is, 50 points?
Right.
But that's for mostly for 3 wound models. This guy gets up to 3 wounds with this. So,
But he can be on the wagon with this thing, can't he?
He can be on the wagon, but I think because the wagon's gigantic, the gigantic has the massive bulk rule, where armors and stuff like that don't work. Because it
But
doesn't
the health
say-
point would work, right?
Nah, because it's just the wearer gains it. But when you're on a gigantic thing, you use the
Yeah.
wounds of the mount.
the
Oh, is it
triumphal
gigantic? Oh, I
the
thought it was
triumphal
tall.
platform is gigantic.
Okay. That was large and
Yeah, it's
tall.
built.
Okay.
Right. All right. Banner of the Last Storm dropped a few points, 15, I guess. No difference there, just a point drop.
Right.
What do we got next? Sacred Aquila.
Aquila.
Oh, this one you used to hit yourself at your own strength, AP, and attributes. Now you just hit yourself with a strength 3, AP 0. Okay.
Exactly. It's just straight up strength.
Reworded or changed the way the effect of the ones work.
Correct.
And then we have the Bell of the Deep Road.
Sorry, back on the Sacred Aquila. So you
Yep.
have an equal chance of hitting yourself as you have of getting a battle focus.
Correct. And you're paying 50 points for that ability.
And you're paying
Right.
50 points for that ability, and you're probably going to take the hits more than your opponent. Now, yours only
Correct.
cost half as much, but
You're going to take the wounds more than your opponent, you mean? Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So it seems a little pricey for me considering the
I agree.
double edge.
Okay. No comment, Ben?
Well, I mean, you just sit there and slam me on the Swarm Master. Well, you got 54, 50
No, I'm-
models in a unit. This is a kind of a the pull the pin kind of thing. hey, you're going to do battle focus with you got fighting extra ranks times 2, so you should generate a whole bunch of attacks. But that helps
Correct.
even it out. You're also going to hurt yourself.
No, I think
make
it's.
it fair.
I agree. I agree with Statler here in that you're paying a lot of points for something that's going to do more to yourself than to your opponent in most cases. So, I'm just saying, I don't think it should be taken that much because I don't think it's good.
Right.
I'm not saying it's definitely not saying it's overpowered. I'm just saying it's underpowered
We're
for what
saying
you're
the
paying for
opposite.
it.
For
I
what
would almost say this thing should be 10 or free.
maybe not free because your guys cost half as much on the, but still, it seems that to me it seems it should be cheaper for what it
Right.
does.
But okay,
Not all of our comments are anti.
Well, to me, I mean, if I put this on the great weapon, the Colt with the great weapons, and then
okay,
they have
that's a good point.
if they're by the if they're beside the pulpit. Sorry, I'm also stuck on old names.
That's fine.
Then they all have two attacks apiece. That's a lot of strength 5 attacks at poison that can now have battle focus. So your poisons are automatic hits. That's what the RT got involved in the pricing on this one to kind of test the waters too. So that's why that price is up. They how they price that.
Okay,
for the potential.
I can see the price making sense on that unit.
Right.
That's a good point. I don't see. I don't think it makes so much sense on the other units, but on that unit, it does make sense to me.
Maybe
after you explain that.
Yeah.
But
if I do it on
I already
areas,
I have challenge with that unit because I think they've made it so you have to spend so many points to update it, and it's going against your special. That's a whole other conversation. But so yeah.
Mhm.
It seems to be putting a lot more stuff focused on that unit, and then hoping people will take it and not take shooting.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the next one was the Bella Deep Roads. This one allows, same as before, but this now it allows you to start in reserve.
Start.
This is so you can hide your guy with the Doom Blade for a few turns.
Don't roll good. Keep him hidden.
Yeah, just roll bad and you'll never show up.
Never show up. And you give the whole points anyway.
Exactly. Okay. Interesting item.
This was kind of fixed to community desire to have more interaction with the tunnel reserve part of the book.
Right.
And it did make we didn't have too many things that actually started. So it's like, well, if they can't start in it, then what's the point in having the item? So it made sense to put things in there. And I know some people had said, oh my gosh, you can't put Murmillos. They're going to start and then they pop out of a tunnel. That's fine. Because with the tunnel reserve rule, they can't do anything. They pop out, they can't shoot, they can't move. So they can be counted that way.
And there's no guarantee they come out.
Exactly. You want to put that expensive unit in there, then we've all seen it. We've all seen bad dice. It happens.
Yeah, just get Joey to play them. They'll never show up.
What about exactly right? What was that? 54 in one game.
All right. So what do we got? We got the orb that went up by 5 points. Okay.
Yeah.
A 60 point item going up by 5 is not a huge deal. Storm Rocket's still there.
Was that just a minor balance change, or was that because they were afraid it was conflicting with something else you didn't want people to take?
A little bit of both. Like I said, we had more input on the pricing on this one to kind of get things. Now that it's in the middle of the road for alpha, that the prices are getting close to where RT.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Tome of the Rat King. What happened with this? Used to be 35. Ooh. Oh, because this thing. So now, if you the rat swarms used to grow every turn. They don't grow every turn unless you pay the 65-point item
Exactly.
and discard veil tokens.
Right.
Yeah. Raise 3 health points in a friendly rat swarm unit. Ta-da-da-da-da. So, not real clear. If I discard 3 veil tokens for each one, okay. Yeah, so I can split it up and raise it in several units. I'm assuming.
Yep. So you've got 3 swarms right there, put 1 in each swarm. You want to put all 3 into one? Put one.
Okay. Not great, but it's there. The Crown of Hubris. The Crown of Hubris used to give you the +2 to casting. Now it gives you plus basically 1 to 3 veil tokens. And kills some of your own guys.
Used in this.
Yeah. Which are not what?
This is after the siphon and the veil. So these are extra tokens to use to store your following turn, or for you to use with the Tome of the Rat King or with your orb. You generate veil tokens, but not for magic in that phase.
I did not even notice that.
Yeah.
Does this break the rule if you can carry more than 3 over?
It's kind of a way to get around that, I guess you say, because there's certain phases for certain types that you can do that. So this is kind of a test item.
Okay.
And then rules clarity will get in and make sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Is it intended that it carries over above the 3 threshold?
It is, from my point of view, yes. But it's the way for the Vermin to be able to do it and to kind of get the scavenger theme going without having an item just like demons or warriors where it says, you can store up to 6.
Right.
Yeah. Because this also has a way of, you're hurting yourself and it's variable.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, and I didn't notice that it was after the siphon and the veil, even though that's the very first 3 words. I didn't notice that, and I didn't consider that. So this is for next turn. Or, like you said, for the other burning veil tokens above.
I actually interpreted that it still fell under the cap because it didn't say it didn't.
Well, it doesn't because, it doesn't fall under the cap because Siphon the Veil, at the end of Siphon the Veil, you can only have 3 tokens. So this is after Siphon the Veil, so you're adding tokens afterwards. So it definitely gets around it from the way I read it. So, okay. It's different. I would much rather my opponent have this thing than that +2 to cast every round. So, happy to see that.
I actually like the plus to cast. Maybe not +2, but just because everyone is an apprentice in this army.
Correct. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But everybody using the common item, and so with that and this,
correct.
It's just a little bit too strong.
I think that having the 2 +2 to cast was a bit much.
Well, I thought 2 + 2 was too much. That I would agree with.
Right. So, all right. The liar went up by 5 points. No, went down by 5 points. I love this item. Just saying.
Yeah. Like I said, this is making those to where they need to be at.
Yeah, stomp attacks being -2 to wound is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like that a lot.
It's very limited on what you put it on too.
Yeah, senators and fleshmasters. Yep.
And it would only apply to not on a platform of some sort.
All right. And this next thing, the cowl, is a brand new item.
Yeah.
and for 15 points, you basically let you break the rule. You can have 2 of one and 1 of another to get the Holy Triumvirate going.
So I interpret this to mean that you don't have to take 3 wizards. You can just take 2 wizards and put this on a hero, and then you still get it.
The model counts as having both. You know what? Actually, I didn't think about that, but it does, doesn't it? Was that intended, Ben? Is he still there? Did we lose Ben?
We lose Ben again.
I think we lost Ben. He's actually dropped completely out of the stream. Maybe he'll show back up. I'm going to bet that was an oversight, but maybe not.
Well, I mean, why else would you have it if it's not for that purpose?
Because you had to pick one or the other of the cults, right?
Right. Well, it's depending on which magic user you have.
There he is. He's back.
Okay.
Is that you, Ben? He's not talking, but he's back. All right.
I see an icon.
Yeah. I don't know. I brought him back. He doesn't want to talk.
Am I
Yeah,
back
now
yet?
you're back.
There you are.
So the question he Statler was asking is
Think technology.
the cult the cowl of the apostate? You can put this on any character, and now you have 3 to complete the Holy Triumvirate. Even a non-caster, correct?
That's what we're looking at to make that possible, to where you can have 2 and you count 3. That's the intent. Like I said, RCT stuff. We'll get into it because there'll probably I think we have a week or so to get a hot fix put out for anything that we've missed. Because I know I messed up and left the on a hereditary spell.
Whoa, you're really in bad shape as far as your
Mess with it has to be an unengaged unit. Leaving it since
you're not doing well as far as your
yeah. The thing of it is, this is to be able to have 2 guys.
All right. Well, since Ben is only talking in stuttering
And every other word?
every other word, we're going to skip him until he comes back.
Okay. Let's move on. Break on through to the other side.
What do we got? We got the Ruinous Dictator. The old Vermin Demon has dropped by 40 points.
Yeah, that surprised me.
It surprised me a lot. And he got better, I think. Yes, because he doesn't lose his Aegis save. There he is. Let's do this. Let's remove him and add him. All right, let's try that. And so, yeah, the old way it worked is he lost his Aegis save if he took this avatar and had a 4-up fortitude. Now it's a weird one where he gets the 4-up fortitude only against non-magical, but he so against non-magical melee attacks. So against magical melee attacks, he gets no fortitude, no Aegis.
He still gets his Aegis, right?
No, it's gone. See this? Oh, he doesn't lose it. Correct.
Yeah,
Good point. He doesn't lose it. That's the difference. Sorry, I was reading it the opposite way. So he actually got better.
If you take that upgrade.
If you take this.
Correct.
And 40 points cheaper. So, yeah. All right.
He's got the spell changes. Yeah, I still think the unbreakable, the crumble guy is just so powerful.
This one, yeah.
Yeah.
He is really good that way.
Are you seeing people using that a lot, Ben, in the playtesting?
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
It's a little bit. It's between the pair weapons guy.
Ben is coming to us from a closet on the moon, I think.
I think it's coming from a rat tunnel.
That's true. He's currently still in tunnel reserve, has not come out yet.
He's polishing his blade. So.
He doesn't want to come out with that doom blade yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Ben, but you're just coming through terribly tonight. All right, so that's the Ruinous Dictator. The Vermin Senator dropped by 15 points.
Yeah, he lost the Vox Populi, but it's on the.
It's a bad storm here.
It's actually kind of amusing at this point.
I think he's telling us he unfurled his storm banner and it's interfering with us.
I think so. Anyway, so this guy dropped by 15 points. He went from a 5 up to a 4 up to a 5. It went from a 5 to a 4 with his pistol. He got a little bit better, and his litter got a little bit more expensive.
Well, different.
So.
And I believe that Vox Populi is on the litter now.
I believe so, because it's a brand. They've renamed the litter.
Yeah, it's different than it was. So.
Right. And this guy's litter got a little bit cheaper. His platform, the Blood Fur Legate.
Yeah.
His litter got cheaper.
You take him as a general.
Right. Moving on, get to the House Prefect. And what did he get? He dropped 5 points, but most of his upgrades went up. All these blue are increases.
Yeah. They're trying to get you to go with the Fedis Fleshmaster.
Yeah, the free version.
Yeah.
Yep. And let him ride that beastie.
Yeah, it's an interesting if you take the weapons guy because he ends up being like 140 or something, which is almost the same price as 3 of them.
Oh, of the weapon teams, yeah.
Yeah, but it gives you that 3. You're an engineer with a 3 up.
Right.
So that could be interesting with some of those weapons teams.
Correct. So, moving on, we got a Swarm Priest which we talked about. I mean, I guess we didn't talk about it, but the other cult used to be 5 points. Now it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little 5-point adjustments. It's almost holy triumvirate.
Worth it, and they both have pluses and minuses, so it's fine. And the platform, did it go down?
It actually went up by 10.
Went up, okay.
Yeah. It's a good platform, though. So.
Yeah.
Dustblade Assassin dropped 10 points, probably because they were not seeing anyone taking them.
Is Ben off again? Or on
yeah,
again?
He's completely dropped now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still not. I'm not understanding this guy.
The Assassins.
Yeah, that's one I wanted to ask him about. I just don't quite get it.
So yeah, it's Anyway, they're only powerful if you stack them up, but then you're paying almost 500 points for that ability.
Yeah.
So, if you take 3 of them, they're 405 or something now.
Yeah, and they're inexpensive. It's like to use as a chaff character, but they're so unresilient that
Correct.
It's hard to do that.
Agreed.
This is the new litter, and it's standard infantry, so you can take the sword with it.
Well, it's just kind of redone from the other litter.
Yeah.
The Praetorian Palanquin. Now it's called the Senatorial Litter.
Right. But you get you get the extra hit point.
You get 1 extra hit point. You do.
Yeah.
Or I guess, well, yeah. The resilience is only as the character now,
Yeah.
which is different. It used to be the Praetorian one used to be resilience 5.
Right. The old one. Yeah. But if you're putting the sword on this thing, I guess that was his point. Is
Yes.
You're putting the sword on here. So you do still get a hit. So it's just a way to get a hit point for your guy and some
Right.
Some attacks. Kind of surprised
And-
they didn't give him halberds or something.
And an extra piece of armor.
Like it's giving the strength. Yes, and an extra piece of armor. It seems like you're gonna always, if you take that sword, you're always gonna put it with this thing. I would think.
Well, yeah, because then you take at most your, you've got 4 hit points to deal with your hit point loss from it.
Yep.
It kind of cancels it out because you're probably not going to take 4 wounds over the course of a game from those lightning attacks.
Well, and the guy's fragile as it is, so every armor point is important.
Yeah, I just played. What was it? 2 nights ago, I played a Vermin Swarm army, and the guy had the guy with the the Doom Blade, and charged into my spider. Didn't kill me on the first round, so I put all the spider attacks on him and got rid of him.
Yeah.
The unit got rid of my spider after that, but so I traded my spider for that guy. But anyway, interesting. All these are pretty much the same. The Pestilence Pulpit ended up dropping 30 points.
Oh, did it? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it went up 10 points in the other side. So
Oh, this is the sacred one, not the pestilence one.
right,
Oh, it's for the upgrade. Yeah.
the Pestilence upgrade went down by 30
Yeah.
because it's not that good.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, it's okay. I don't know. It seems that they've. I'm not thrilled with the overall. Like my earlier comment that I'm beaten into the sand. You have to take that particular unit that comes out of special to go with it, and you're taking all these magic items. And
Right.
By the time you're done, how much is this thing going to cost? And it's decent, but it's not like it's gonna. It's game winning.
Correct. Yeah, it's not going to win you a game. It's a nice piece, though. Anyway,
Yeah, but
Vermin.
I like the Whispering Bell a lot better.
the Whispering Bell is I've not talked to anyone who likes the other one better.
Yeah.
The Legionnaires, we've got a 5-point increase
Oh, they went up. I thought they went down.
for the base. They used to be 175 for 25.
Oh,
Now they're
okay.
180 for 25. I mean, 5 points on a 25 model unit. It's almost why bother.
Yeah,
There's a lot of these that are just kind of odd because the Black Fur veterans went down by 5 points for the base. And again, is costing. That's always the question I come up with, though. It's Black Fur veterans is actually dropping the base cost by 5 points going to make you take them if you didn't before.
yeah. I mean, they're so much more expensive than the other guys.
Right. But I mean, even these guys, it's still the same. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the 5. I mean, yeah, the 5 point thing is. I guess they're trying to figure out their balancing.
Correct.
I don't know. Maybe it makes it well. When it's a 5 point difference and your guys are only 5 points, it's not like it. Sometimes these changes at 5 points can matter on how many units you can take at a core.
Right.
That you end up being just short or just over or whatever.
Correct.
But it's not going to be the case when the guy's 5 points. But these guys, being twice the points, it's just I just don't see twice the unit.
Yeah. And they're 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, 10 points a model when the regular Legionnaires are 5 points a model.
Right. Twice the points.
Yep. So
And frankly, I'm not a huge fan of either of these formations, that special rules that they have.
yeah, I mean, they do have the
They have
mean,
halberd.
the veterans, and they do have agility 5. Somebody just pointed out,
Yeah.
which they've had, but I mean, that's a really fast unit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's still resilience too. The,
Offense
and,
4.
I mean, they're better. I don't, especially with when you can make the whole your main battle line, basically undead, and you
Oh,
rely and you have so many attacks with you put the spears on the other guys. You just have so many attacks, and then you can use your shooting to compensate for the other stuff.
correct.
It's
Yep.
just to me they just seem the additional models seem to be too much compared to the other guys. That's
Yeah, I agree.
all I think.
The veterans are a little bit too much money, too many
Yeah.
points. Shadow First Stalkers. What do they got? They lost their poison attacks,
They lost poison. Yeah, that
but
was
they gained AP2. They used to be AP0.
yeah.
So it was kind of I guess it was a trade-off. You get AP for loss of poison. Actually, I kind of like this. I like this build better than the other ones.
Yeah.
You're losing the auto wound, but the AP2 means the ones that you do get through will actually have a chance of doing something to some things.
Yeah, against most infantry, that means they don't get a save, and you can still hurt and annoy armored units.
You
And
can
you have an
definitely
interesting
annoy
choice.
knights with this.
Yeah, do you want 2 strength 3 attacks, or do you want 1 strength 4 attack? And it's interesting, the throwing weapons and the pistol have the same hit number, too.
I like the pistols of AP1, right?
2, right?
Is it AP2? Okay.
I believe so.
That's true. I
Strength
think
4
so.
AP2.
Strength 4 AP2. You're right.
Yeah.
That is an interesting choice.
But I mean, I think it's interesting because they can be because they hit quite often the throwing weapons have like 1 worse hit because it's rate of fire 2.
Right.
So, but in this case, I think I see both of them being very useful, and the player has to really decide what they want to do.
Correct. All right. Plague Disciples are pretty much the same.
Yeah, change them.
Giant
Just
Rats.
they're just in the wrong section of the army, but besides that,
Giant Rats went up by 10
yeah,
just for the base. Everything else is the same. And I guess the Dire Rats used to be 3 points a model. Now they're only 2.
yeah, but you have to take the 1 character to get those.
You have to take a character to get the Giant Rats. Oh, these.
The
correct.
Dire Rats. Yeah,
Dire
you have
Rats,
that 1
yeah.
character, so you have the dire. So you basically have wolf guys.
Right.
Whereas with the you can just have
Actually,
the
but
giant
no,
rat.
you got better than that. You basically got a boar unit, strength 4, AP1, AP2.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I'm saying
actually a
still,
scary unit.
it's not that scary, but
I'm not happy with it.
yeah. But they're a nice speed. They're not light troops, so, and they're not scoring, so at least they're not super maneuverable.
Correct.
Because
And they're not that fast either, with only
but
14 march.
for this army, they're one of the faster units, so and they're inexpensive, so they do seem to be a natural shaft.
Right.
They can't run through your own guys anymore, so that's helpful.
I do like. I like the Dire Rats. I think I would run them.
Yeah, if you play that character, I'd run them if I played that character. I just don't know if I ever play the character.
Ever play that character?
The way that the way the Unbreakable stuff works at the moment.
So the Fethys Brutes had a fairly major change.
Yeah, they went old school.
They went. They used to be 310 and 45 for extras. Now they're dropped down to 250.
Yes.
And part of the reason for that is the loss of strength. They used to be strength 5. Now they're strength 4.
But they gained an attack and they lost that stupid fight and extra rank roll.
They gained 2 attacks because they got
and they have paired weapons.
Paired weapons and an extra attack. So now they're 4 strength 4 attacks each.
And they kept their AP2.
Correct. Even though their strength dropped.
Yeah, which is interesting. Normally, monstrous infantry strength 4 I'm not a fan of, but I think the AP2 makes it more interesting.
Yeah, and putting out 4 points 4 attacks a model. Again, your offensive skill is not good at 2, but
no, that's part of the problem with them. And then
you do have a decent agility, though.
least they're a lot cheaper than the next guys.
Well, the next guys are weapon guys. Yeah, I
Well,
like.
they can be.
I do like these guys much better now than what I did before. When they had
Oh,
two
I think
attacks, I thought they were almost useless.
Oh, I thought they were terrible. But yeah, because they made you buy a whole bunch, and as soon as you took some wounds, you weren't doing well. But
Right.
For the points you were paying, the number of attacks compared to the rest of the army was awful. Yeah, the brutes they can take the halberd, so they can still be fighty.
The Murmillo,
Yeah, so Murmillo brutes, yes.
they're both brutes.
Yeah, I still prefer the shooting ones, but
Yes. And they didn't change. Oh, sorry, they did change. They went up by 20 points and 5 points a model.
yeah, that's it. I suspect people were taking these because the cost was so similar to the guys above.
Right.
There was
Especially before. Yeah.
I do think the problem is the Fetus brutes, they took scoring away, but they kept it on the Murmillo brutes. So you still have the incentive of taking the Murmillo brutes.
That's true. I didn't even notice that they lost scoring. You're right. So now there's even more incentive to go with the Murmillos.
Because if you're paying this many points, you really want scoring.
Correct. Yeah. And these guys at least have some kind of save with a 5-up.
I mean, I actually think it'd be better if it was the other way around.
What? If the other
if
unit
the
had
fighty
scoring?
guys above were scoring and the shooty guys weren't, then
Correct.
you have to decide if you want them.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. The Fethys brutes were not going to be in any list I even considered before, and now it does make them a choice. The non-scoring does hurt them, though.
Yeah.
What do we got next? We got the drill team. The drill team dropped by 5 points, but it did gain a grind attack. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it can defend itself a little bit better now. Now you're averaging 3 strength 6 instead of 2.
Yeah, the ability to disappear is kind of a neat thing.
The what?
The ability to disappear.
Oh, to pop down, yeah.
Yeah. But you have to have tunnel markers in the right places, so.
Right. Yeah, agreed. Tunnel gunners, experimental weapon teams, Doomspark device. Doomspark device gained march and shoot. Okay.
I'm sorry, which one was this again?
This is the one that does the 6-inch bubble.
This is the old lightning thing. This is the lightning chariot, basically. Yeah. I still don't like it.
These guys, there's no change to these. These guys are fantastic.
Oh, they're very good.
I don't know why they're not in almost every list. I think they're fantastic.
You just have to be careful that your units don't have too many ranks.
So you can shoot over them, because you do have volley fire.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 strength 6 AP2 attacks each. I mean, it's only 8 inches, but that hurts.
Yep.
So
this might cost you a couple of grind attacks if you take that item.
It might cost you what? Oh yes, correct. Because you've got to keep your ranks. You got to go wider than deep.
Yeah, you can't get over. You can't go 10 deep, or you'll be like 11 inches away or 10 inches away. It'll be too far to shoot them. No, I think they're fantastic. I like them a lot.
I agree.
And of course, I like the weapon teams also.
And the weapon teams are fantastic. But yeah, so this guy gained the march and shoot. So now he can go. Now he can go 10 and pop off his 6-inch bubble instead of. I think he used to go 10 before. Oh, he couldn't march and shoot before. Okay.
Right.
So okay, big deal.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
The Vermin artillery went down by 10 points, but the mouse cannon went up by 25. So if you use a mouse cannon, you went up by 15. Otherwise, any other ordnance you took went down by. If you took the scorch it ordnance, you went down by 10.
Yeah, I mean it's a
cannon or catapult.
Yeah, to me that it's strange to me because I like the Scorchet ordnance better than I like the Rakichet mouse cannon.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that cannon. D6 wounds each. Whew, scary.
yeah.
On Trial and Terror.
On Trial and Terror.
Right.
Otherwise, it's D3.
Yeah.
I like Strength 4 catapults.
Strength 4 catapults is very good.
The only, of course, it is a 0 AP, which is its limitation. But
Yeah. Tell that to the elves. You dropping that Strength 4 catapult on.
well, at least they get a 6-up or a 5-up save.
That's true. They do. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I would rather less of my guys get wounded on a Strength 3 one.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but yeah.
So we get to the Earthbreaker, who dropped 10 points, but otherwise is pretty much like he used to be. No big deal there.
I was shocked on this one.
Why is that?
Oh, sorry, this is the wrong entry.
Wrong one.
Entry. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. And the little Dreadmill chariots went down by 5 points. Went down by 5 points for the additionals.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can go down. They can go down a lot more.
I don't think so. I think they're really good for what they do. So,
I'm not seeing it.
I mean, if they're a throwaway unit, they're really good. But anyway. So this, of course, here we go to the Arena Beast.
Yeah.
You missed it. You missed me abusing Ben on this one before you got on
okay.
here. Before we started recording, I was asking him, because now the big change, of course, let me do the change real quick. The change is now if you go with the Underworld Beast, you gain 4d3 attacks. It used to be 3d3 plus 3. So technically, it got a little bit worse. Slightly with the number of attacks.
On average, one. Yeah, but it's more random. Yeah.
It's much more random. So my question to Ben earlier was, tell me another monster that gets 8 attacks, 8 strength 7 attacks for 300 points.
Yeah.
So with a 5-up fortitude.
And has a 5-up fortitude and a 5-up armor save.
Yes.
And 6 hit points.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I thought the Underworld Beast should be more expensive than the Arena Beast. I still don't get why they're the same price.
I don't either. And of course, it still has its random movement 3d6, so it's a huge, it's a flank guard.
It's a threat bubble, whereas the other one's got a better charge range and a couple of extra attacks, but I don't think that compensates for the 360.
Correct.
Which is the broken problem, which we've talked about many times on random movers.
Yeah, I mean, this, and it's even more than just that, because one of the things this army suffers from, one of the biggest thing this army suffers from is, the flanks, getting hit in the flanks.
Yeah.
Because those big blocks are so unwieldy. If you can get into one of their flanks, and you can start chewing them up. But, if they've got an Arena Beast sitting on each flank, you're not getting to their flanks.
Yeah, well, you do have the risk, because it is variable movement, that it might be out of position for where you need it to be.
Right.
Depending on how you roll.
Yeah, but, and again, nothing can get around you. Nothing can get through, Anyway, I think they're fantastic, and I think they've been underpriced for a long time, and they're still underpriced.
Yeah. I mean,
even if they did get worse than what they were.
I mean, they're in trouble if they lose, but they gotta lose.
Correct. And that was the comment I keep hearing is like, oh, well, they used to have 3d6 attacks. I'm like, I don't care what they used to have. Right now, they have 4d3 attacks at 300 points, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Just in damage output alone.
Well, and their higher strength hits.
And their higher strength. But, of course, you're not as survivable with your fortitude dropped by 1.
Yeah.
But still. Anyway.
But, no, they're... As I said, I think with that grindy undead list, you put these with it, to get yourself some high strength melee attacks. It's really
Yeah.
quite formidable to me,
I agree.
in my mind.
I think they're really good.
Yeah.
As probably for the points, maybe one of the best monsters in the game. For the points.
Yeah.
I mean, there's better monsters, but for the points, at 300, the Orc and Goblin Giant is 315. He has 5 strength 7 attacks in the first round.
Yeah.
Unless he's wounded, then he can get more. So he can get more attacks too.
Now this thing, if you get a decent roll, it'll drop, most monsters in the game.
Correct. Yes.
And that's what, and it's not that easy to drop it.
I regularly lose a spider to this thing.
Yeah, and the spider's, to me, one of those monsters that's got too many attacks. It's got so many attacks.
Right.
But most monsters, they got 5 or 6 attacks.
Correct.
And,
yeah. This one and the spider both have 8 attacks.
Yeah, they might be weapon skill 4, which will help them. But yeah, this is a nice gribble. You can have 3 of them.
You can.
And that uses and you still, I think, have it uses up all your points.
Uses up all your points because you only have 20%, and that means one of those platforms also comes out of that same point cost.
Does the crumble guy come out of the same point cost?
The Breton games. Oh, the I don't think any of the characters come out of that. No.
Okay.
He does not.
He'd be the one.
But what does is one of these monsters. There we go. The Triumphal platform does come out of Breton games.
Which one's that one? That's with who's that with?
8 wounds, resilient 5.
Shame Ben's not on the call anymore. I was going to light into him about this 80 by 80 millimeter thing.
He's still in the chat, so you can yell at him anyway.
Okay.
No, please don't increase the bread and butter percentage. Never increase that. Who gets the Triumphal platform? I think it's... There he is. The Blood Fur Legate gets it. Oh, and only if you're the general.
Yeah.
So if this guy's going to be your general on this platform, but I don't think you would. I don't think you would do that.
No.
Simply because now you're discipline 6 general instead of 7 if you take this guy, or 6 and unstable if you take this guy.
Yeah.
So I think anyway.
No,
I think your choices are the 7. I mean, it's tough. I mean, this guy gives your army discipline 7 with cold-blooded reroll.
Yeah.
So rerollable cold-blooded minimized 7 with a reroll, or you take this guy when you're minimized 6, but you don't break.
Yeah, at least the guys within range of him.
Yeah, well, and it's hard. Yeah, again, 24 inches out from him.
Yeah.
You can stretch it.
There's not everything in the army can have those standards, so, but yeah.
Yeah, but all they have to do is be within 6 inches of one of those standards.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I mean. It gives you the 18 to the unit and then 6 further to the other guy.
Right.
So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
all right.
So I just like that's the build I'd go with, is a whole bunch big blocks of guys, that character, the two big Griblies, and then 2x2 template shooting out the wazoo, and a couple of those whatever I could afford as far as the 6-inch shooting.
Right. So this invalidating model. What's that?
And maybe a couple of not rats, a couple of rat units just to
rat units.
have some chaff.
So the rule about not rule, but the guideline about not invalidating models apparently does not apply to bases.
It does not apply to bases.
We're allowed to obsolete bases.
Well, clearly they're anti-plastic because they're coming up with base sizes that did not exist in the game that shall not be named, or in some of the other games that use square bases. So
Correct.
you kind of have to make your own, or you have to kind of go with wood, I guess.
Yeah, carve one out of a
I guess. Well, that's not true. You can go with the Shogun bases. He'll cut them to any size for you.
Correct.
But,
there you go.
Yeah,
our buddy at Shogun will take care of you there.
Yeah, I do not understand. This is a pet peeve of why they keep introducing new base sizes for people that already have stuff on other size bases.
Correct.
You know, I don't mind that they introduce a size, but they should at least give you the option, like they do with some models, to play with the old standard bases.
Oh, where you can go with the big brother or whatever.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Get an upgrade or a downgrade, whatever. So people
Right.
don't have to rebase their stuff. You know, it's just, I find that irksome.
I agree.
Especially for somebody like myself who has all those GW bases. I like my bases to match. I like to have the right bevels. I don't want to have to take my freaking file out.
Well, and then you get the guy. I mean, you get the people like I don't know. You came by when I was playing the other night, who had a nice Vermin swarm. He's got the.
Yes.
I think it was a
Forge World.
Forge World Vermin demon.
Yeah.
And it's on a nice base. It's got that nice terrain piece all mounted down to it, and now he's got to. If he's going to use it, he's going to have to rip it off. Or what he was doing, the other night was putting a 25 by 50 and a 25 square base beside it.
Oh, I thought he had 3 dudes just walking around with them permanently.
Yeah, well, that is what it was. It was an old weapon team that was 25 by 50 and a 25 by 25 base with a guy on it. I think it was a ghoul or something.
Oh yeah, I mean, frankly, that model would fit better on this base size, so he is better served.
Oh yeah, I talked to him about it. Said it'll look much better if he does move it to a 75 by 75.
Yeah,
but the fact that he has to do that is he's very irritated with that.
I said, and I feel bad for the people that have resin base armies where they've spent all that freaking money,
right,
buying standard size resin bases, and I mean the company that shall not be named already had that problem, in my opinion, having so many different base sizes. You see that with a lot of the newer games. Our infantry's are on 25 and our cavalry's 25. They don't have 20s and 25s and 40s and 35s. They standardize more, which but if somebody's done it just to make somebody have to figure something out that's already got. So I said, particularly people who spend a lot of time on their armies and really did impressive bases, and now they got to redo it. I just don't. I don't see why that needs to be done, especially something like this, which is a standalone model. It's not like it has to fit in a unit or anything.
Correct. I mean, there's some models I can understand when you are trying to make it become where it fits into one the right way.
Yeah, and you can get 60 by hundreds because they were available from the Voldemort company, and
the Voldemort company.
Yeah, the company that shall not be named.
Oh, okay.
So
are you talking about Games Workshop this whole time?
Yes, no, not at all.
Okay.
And you can find a lot of those. You can find copies of those on Amazon from China.
Yes.
They came from China. And so you're okay with that, but when you get these weird sizes, like I said, you just can't. You have to do your own thing.
Yep.
And that 80 by 80, it's like, really? I understand that you want to fit the unit. It couldn't be 60 by 10.
It really has to be that. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, they do like messing with base sizes lately.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said,
all right.
I have the same thing on the 100 by 100. It's like that was never a standard base. Give people the option. because I'm not remounting Rocky. He's on 100 by 150 staying on it. I don't care.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah, I spent too
No.
much time doing that base, screwing my guy into the base and everything. That'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, well, everyone's bitching at us for bitching about base sizes. So
That's all right. I'm not seeing the comments, so
okay.
I'm golden. So anyway,
Yeah.
so unfortunately we lost Ben.
We did, because I had a few questions for him at the end, but whatever.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get him on some other time to pound him with questions.
Yes, we can set up maybe when there's not a thunderstorm over the his zone of living.
Well, you don't understand. He also lives in the middle of nowhere, so.
Well, when you live in a tunnel, you do live in the middle of nowhere.
You do. I think his internet is 2 cans and a string. I don't think they're up to dial-up yet where he is.
Let's not exaggerate. He doesn't have 2 cans. He's got 1.
That's giving him a benefit.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right. Let's wrap it up.
That's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for giving us a shot, Ben. But I know why you didn't want to stick around. You wanted to get out of here before we started really bitching at you. So,
and we haven't even gotten to the Roman thing yet.
We won't even talk about the names.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it's going to take me to adopt any of these names? I'm just asking. What do you think? I mean, this unit I can handle. The Vermin slaves.
Yes. Well, considering you play orcs all the time and you're still struggling with those names.
Yeah, exactly.
For an army that you do own but hardly ever play, I think, and us being old, I think that will, you know how that's going to go. We're lucky to remember the old names, much less remembering the new ones.
Yes. I just pointed models.
Those guys with the fur.
Those guys. All right. All right. Well, that's going to do it again. Thanks, Ben, for trying to show up. And we'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Till next time.
Thanks for listening.